Welcome to this video where we're speaking about PCOS and sleep quality, why you may be struggling to get a good night's sleep, why you may be still tired after getting sleep, and what can you actually do about it, because this is a really serious issue. I don't need to explain it to you, but anyone and everyone knows if you get a bad night's sleep, like the next day, you are an angry little gremlin. But with this video, I want to explain the physiological effects of not getting a good enough quality of sleep, because it's not just your mood that's affected. Poor sleep can lead to a myriad of issues, and I really want to solve them for you. So let's have a look here. Women with PCOS, 2 to 3 times more likely to suffer from sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a condition where your airway is obstructed or you stop breathing for more than 5 seconds at a time. You literally stop breathing for 5 seconds or more. So sleep apnea is a serious problem. Higher rates of insomnia. Insomnia, another condition where you just struggle to get to sleep. And poor sleep is affecting up to 75% of all women with PCOS. So this isn't an issue that only affects 1 or 2 women. This is an issue that is affecting millions of women with PCOS around the world. So it's a really important issue that we speak about, and it's just an issue that I don't see spoken about enough. So let's look here. Number 2, what are the causes of poor sleep and sleeping issues in PCOS? There's probably not going to be one exact cause. It's probably going to be a combination of a few specific causes that's causing you to not be able to get a good night's sleep. The first one is insulin resistance. Now, if you look at the research and the study that's been done so far, there's definitely a correlation between insulin resistance and poor sleep. They just don't understand the mechanics underneath why insulin resistance causes poor sleep, but there is definitely a correlation there. And as I've spoken about before, around 70-75% of women with PCOS also have insulin resistance. Now, these next 2 causes are bidirectional causes, which means they trigger poor sleep, but then poor sleep also triggers these 2 things, and that's weight gain and cortisol levels. Cortisol is your stress hormone. So excess weight and excess cortisol, which many women have with PCOS, causes poor sleep, but then the double-edged sword there is poor sleep then exacerbate weight issues and cause cortisol problems the next day, and that just compounds. Like, this isn't an issue where a woman with PCOS is having one bad night's sleep. This is an issue where a woman with PCOS is having years and years of poor sleep, and when that adds up, it's really negatively impacting your quality of life. So cortisol is very important, because if you look at your circadian rhythm, your body clock, and your sleep-wake cycle, the 2 main hormones of your sleep-wake cycle are cortisol and melatonin. So cortisol is highest first thing in the morning. It gives you that energy to get out of bed, but then throughout the day into the evening, cortisol levels should fall off to allow you to fall to sleep. And melatonin works opposite. It is lowest first thing in the morning, because your eyes pick up on the daylight, and it increases at nighttime. When the sun goes down, melatonin production kicks in, and that's actually what makes you start feeling sleepy. But if you have elevated cortisol levels, especially through the night, then melatonin's not going to be working, and that's where insomnia comes into it. And then there's these factors of anxiety and depression. Like, if you're anxious about your PCOS symptoms or about life in general, you're going to be laying there at night worrying about your problems. Same with depression. Depression is that feeling of hopelessness. We know women with PCOS have higher rates of anxiety and depression. So if you're laying there getting into bed worrying about your life, then that's going to add to your sleep issues. We now know the causes. Let's look at the effects of these causes. Well, we know women with PCOS, less REM sleep, REM, rapid eye movement sleep. That's probably your most important sleep, because that's where your body recovers. That's when you really start to re-nourish your body. So if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, but you're still waking up tired, maybe your REM sleep is actually impacted, because there's stages of your sleep. Total sleep time is impacted, so you're sleeping less amount of actual time. Increased daytime sleepiness, which is not good, but that's why you're going about your day and you're just tired, you're lethargic, you're exhausted. And also insomnia is an issue there. So these aspects of PCOS is linked to worsening insulin resistance. So once again, insulin resistance triggers sleep problems, but poor sleep then worsens insulin resistance. We know poor sleep leads to weight gain. We know it leads to depression, and it increases your risk for metabolic syndrome. So things like high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes. So that's why poor sleep isn't just, you're dealing with the effects of being tired the next day. Like, sleep is truly important to your overall health, your mind, your body, your soul. And when you're not getting good sleep, it can lead to serious health issues. That's why it's so important to get on top of this, and that's why I'm making this video for you. Increased androgen symptoms. So as I said here, poor sleep leads to high cortisol. I made a post today on my Facebook page talking about how stress, high cortisol, leads to high adrenal androgen production, DHEA, and then that metabolizes down to DHT, which is a far more potent form of androgen, and that leads to androgen symptoms in PCOS like hair loss, hair growth, and also acne. And then to understand if you are getting poor sleep, even though you definitely understand if you'll know if you're getting poor sleep. It's daytime sleepiness, snoring, and that feeling of wide but tired. Like you are so tired, but you just can't fall asleep. It's one of the worst feelings because your body just wants to drop dead and sleep, but for some reason you can't. It's that sympathetic nervous system that's kicking in and making you feel wide but tired. So let's get to, well, what can you do about this? How do you improve your quality of sleep? And there's things that I say. So you avoid certain things, do certain things. So avoid caffeine after 12 p.m. It's very important. Obviously, caffeine is a stimulant. So no caffeine after 12 p.m., after midday. Smoking, of course. Smoking is one of the largest contributors to poor sleep. It's unhealthy anyway, so make sure you're not smoking. Alcohol at nighttime. So many women, and men for that case, come home and because they're stressed throughout the day, they turn to alcohol. You want to be limiting your alcohol because alcohol is known to cause sleep disturbances. Noise at nighttime. Obviously, that's a very, very understanding one. If you live next to a highway, you're probably going to struggle, but try and limit noise at nighttime. Limit your technology use at nighttime. Remember when I said melatonin, which prompts you to fall asleep, is released when daylight turns to nighttime. As soon as the night comes out and the light fades, melatonin production kicks back in. But if you got the lights on at home, if you got the TV on, your laptop on, your phone, you are tricking your body into thinking it's still daytime. So melatonin production is limited. So make sure you limit your technology at night. Turn the brightness down on the TV. Get off your phone. Get off your computer. Turn all the lights off in the house. It's really important that you make your house as dark as possible at nighttime. And then eating before bed. So recommended, try and eat about 3 hours before you go to bed. So it's that Goldilocks zone, not too hungry, not too full. And then what should you do? Obviously, regular exercise is well known to improve sleep quality. Make sure you stick to sleep-wake time. So wake up at the exact same time, go to bed at the exact same time, even on weekends. So set your alarm for 6 in the morning, go to bed at 9 at night, or whatever the case may be, but make sure those times are the same. And that actually works on your circadian rhythms. If you've known someone who gets up early for the last 20 years, even on the weekends, they'll get up that time. Even if you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, their body just wakes them up. So it's really important to get your body in that circadian rhythm, that sleep-wake cycle. And then 1 hour deload. So 1 hour before your bed, let's say you want to go to sleep at 10 o'clock in the evening, make sure that that last hour before bed, that is your deload time. So whether you're sitting on the lounge, whether you're laying in bed, reading a book, that last hour you are deloading. No phone, no technology. Maybe you can watch the TV, but just watch something easy that your mind can switch off to. It's really important to deload before bed. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all about PCOS and sleep, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you on our next video.